Stone Stitcher. Today is December 15th, 2025. I can't believe we're that close. I mean, 10 days till Christmas. Are you guys ready for Christmas? I kind of am. I've got all my shopping done. That was done a while ago. I have one last thing to assemble and then wrap, but other than that, it's all set. Haven't planned Christmas dinner yet, but you know, hey, that's minor, right? Okay, so cross stitch. What do I have? Today I have a finish, a new start, progress on a few whips. I have a UFO, but it's something you have not seen yet, so we can talk about that. I have a couple Flosstubers I'd like to kind of shout out, and then I have plans for the rest of this year. So would you like to get right into it? All right, let's start with the finish. Now, I have my frame. I've just been too busy. I haven't had a chance to frame this. I did clean it, so it's a little wrinkled. And here's Only the Lonely. So I did finish this. This needed 3,121 stitches. And it took me 3 days. I was so focused on this. I was so excited to get this done. So all I had to do was this section down here, and I finished that, and look at those colors. And it's so funny, when I really made this a focus was the beginning of autumn. And as I look out my windows, regardless of which direction I look, I see trees. I see hills of trees. And when I really was focusing on this, and I was really up in here, we were going into autumn, and outside we had all the colors that you can imagine on our trees, from golds and browns and oranges, and so it was really fitting to be working on this at the same time. So this is artwork by Adrian Borda, charted by UnconventionalXStitch. I've been made aware this is no longer available. His work is still there, but this particular one is not. So sorry about that. I don't know what else to tell you. This had 60,000 stitches, so it's kind of a small piece, relatively, for a full coverage. But that's my finish. I am so happy. I could just stare at that all day. I can't wait to get it pressed and stretched. Speaking of stretching, I didn't bring it with me. I purchased some finishing tape from It's So Emma, and I'm going to try that instead of lacing, and I'll let you know next time how that works. So the next one I plan to finish. I haven't had big chunks of time where I could just sit and focus on this one, and so I'm removing the background, and I'm down to the end, but I'm down to the most complicated area to remove the background. So this is Brothers. This is artwork by Janna Lateckova, charted by Thread Geeks. Sorry, my face itches. We are officially into winter, and my skin is getting dry, and yeah. Okay, so this is, I'll try not to touch my face too much. So I finished, there was some stitches in here that I finished, and as I'm looking at this, I probably didn't have to fill this whole section in so deeply. There were some missing stitches here and right in through here, and so I did all those. So those are now done. And then I thought I would work up, but that was confusing, so I went back up here and I started filling in and taking these stitches wherever they went. So this spot right here, this little circular area, that one I think I'm going to fill in, even though I think it's mostly background, because I don't know, it just looks weird to me like that. You can see I have a stitch missing here. There's something missing here. So yeah, I still have that area to work on, but I'm trying to separate what is the main and what is background. So I just didn't have the brain power to do that. I'm hoping to have a day where I can do that before I see you again. Okay, so then I had been participating or joining in on the Flosstuber challenge. And I didn't think that I would continue with it in December because I was worried how many videos would be coming out. It turns out only one of the Flosstubers in my challenge posted daily videos. So what I did is I went ahead and when possible and when I had the time, I spun, and that was Crafty Emily, and I would spin from 4 projects, which I will show you here. On a day that somebody else posted, then I didn't spin for Emily, I spun for them. So basically I was doing one video, one extra piece, when possible per day. There were days that I didn't have the time to squeeze in a second one, and then there were days like yesterday that I got 0 stitching done altogether. So these are the ones that I have spun. This first one, and my wheel really liked Christmas. So this first one is a full coverage Christmas piece. This is Village Christmas. It was in the December 2023 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it's now available as a PDF from Annie's Attic. And I'll put that link down below. And here's where it is now. So I had some of this brown outlining windows done. I had this window all completed with the tree, and since then I have filled in this area, filled in that window, filled in this, came down here, and I filled in this. So this one, this was a nice change up when I was trying to work on Brothers and all the mental power that went into Brothers, because this is mostly block stitching. There are a few fractionals around the lettering. I don't think there were any in the wreath. Yeah, there were a couple in the wreaths in the windows, but nothing major. I'm doing this on, and I didn't tell you what fabrics I used. Everything today is on 18 count. The fabric for Only the Lonely is a brand that I picked up from Amazon. Brothers is on a 18 count and 18 count. This is Jade by Picture This Plus. And then this one is a antique blue from Zweigart. So you can see I'm coming down this half. So this is half the design, and it's divided into 3 pages. So there's this side, and then there's the bottom. And yeah, so there's that. The next one, and I have no numbers for these because they're not in Pattern Keeper. The next one is called Woodland Santa. Artwork is by Sharon Pope. It was in this book by Craftways. I believe it's a 2018. And here's where I'm at. So last time you saw it, I had all but a couple stitches of snow done in the bottom, and I had started outlining, I think, this sleeve. I had most of the dark colors in the belt. So since then I added the snowflakes down here, finished off a good portion. All the reds are done, but there's still some golds that have to go in. Put in most of his beard, got his hat in. His hat is all done. This over here are the tips of the antlers on the deer, and this is the beginning of the pack that he has on his back. So I'll bring that in and I'll put in the before so you can see that. This is also a Zweigart, I believe. No, this is a piece that I got from XJUDesign. I don't know the name of this one, but that. So that's Woodland Santa. Now we get into my non-Christmas pieces that were in my wheel. And these 2 are larger, so what I will do is show you the area I was working, and then I will show you a close-up, excuse me, of where it's at, of the entire piece. So this first one is Strength. This is artwork by Nicolee Payne charted by UnconventionalXStitch. And all except for the UFO at this point are by UnconventionalXStitch. So if I forget to say that, these are all pieces that Jody charted. So this is strength. And so with strength, I do have numbers. I only put in 842 stitches, bringing this from 44.44 to 44.86. And what I did is I added some colors here. I added and brought down more in through here. And I added a few stitches. I don't know if you can see those right in, where are they? Oh, right in through here. I brought in some stitches. So I was just picking colors and taking them where they went until I ran out, and then moving on. So a lot of light skin tone colors, but yeah, this is done, and this is getting wider. So just working on her face, and here's where she was before. I'm really happy. This is an 18 count. Like I said, everything from here on is 18 count. This is very light Pewter by Zweigart. And the next one is on the same fabric. This is Death in the Garden, artwork by Megan Majeski, charted by UnconventionalXStitch, on 18 count, very light Pewter, and I'm working on her face still. So she looks, if you pull her back, she looks pretty cool. So what did I do? Well, I worked on filling in more of her skin tone. So there's a lot that went in here and through here. I've done a couple stitches on her lips and her nose, and then where those colors went, I took them up into this flower. So that flower is pretty close to being done. And so here's where she was before. And this one I put in 1,498 stitches, taking this from 29.51 to 31.12. And I had two goals with this year. It was to reach under 100,000, which I'm really close, or to reach at least 30%. So I've reached the 30%, but both strength and this one you'll see more of. Okay, so then I had a new start. And my new start, I was calling this a restart, but that's really not fair because it's a new chart, right? So I was stitching this. This is Grackles. This is by UnconventionalXStitch. I previously started Grackles by Jade. So I'm using a completely new chart now. This is artwork by Omar Rayan. This is also on an 18 count. This one is on an antique white by Zweigart. And you can see there's a color up here. I believe it's number 11. It's like a greenish yellow, which was really cool to work with. So I've got 3 colors in here so far. This is just mainly one color. There's a color that goes down the side, and then there's that number 11, which kind of goes through here and adds like a green tint. I'm not sure if you're picking that up. You can see right in through here. Next time I pick this up, I want to work here. We have an antler coming in already, so that'll be fun. So there's no before. This is a new start, and I've put in 2,505 stitches, bringing this to 0.87%. And yeah, so that's Grackles, and that is a lot of fun to work on. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. So let's take a break before I show you the UFO that you've never seen. Let me talk to you about a couple new Flosstubers, or a couple Flosstubers. So the first one is not new, nor is she new to me. This is Steph from Steph at Wild Fox Stitchery. She's very close to reaching 1,000. So if you haven't checked her out, go check her out. Her goal is to reach 1,000 by the end of the year, 1,000 subscribers. She does a lot of full coverage, but she also does a lot of long dogs. And her color choices, I thoroughly enjoy her color choices. So go ahead and check out Steph. The other one is a brand new Flosstuber, and she started with a whip braid. And she has, I think she just has 2 videos up, unless she's put up one again. She is cross-stitch tails. She's a Ukrainian who is currently living in Italy. Her name is Marina, and she does mostly kits. So she does Dimension, how do you say, Luca S, Majorca, I don't know how to pronounce that one. So a lot of kits, and just beautiful. A lot I haven't seen before. She doesn't show her face, but she does show you close-up details of her pieces, and her stitching is gorgeous. So help her get started. She's brand new. So now, I have a UFO. I also almost had a new start last night, and we'll talk about that. So my UFO, this is, how do I start this one? This was going to be a gift for my son. Now my son, when he was younger, he was really into his eagles. And so every year I made him an eagle. And he had a couple that were framed, and you know, sometimes I bought him handmade eagles, but for every year for Christmas he got an eagle. And there were only 2, I believe, that were cross-stitched, that were good size. And so when he got together with his fiance, wife, whatever, they were young, right? They met when they were teenagers. And so they were starting off. And so his eagles were in the home. Little by little, the eagles disappeared. And probably about a year ago or so, my daughter-in-law made the comment of, wow, yeah, I don't even know where those eagles are right now. But I did realize that as they put together a home, her tastes were different from his. And I didn't think that she really enjoyed the eagles, so I wasn't surprised when they didn't fit her decor. Now, she loves cross-stitch, and I have done many pieces for her that she's requested over the years. So with that said, I'd been wanting to stitch something that the whole family could enjoy, that my son would love, that was not an eagle. And one of the things that I fixated on was New York City. It is my son's favorite place to go, and the kids love it. He has taken them all over. They've gone to Mexico, they've gone on cruises, they've gone to the Caribbean, they've gone all over, okay? And when you ask them, what is your favorite vacation? They will tell you New York City. And every time they go to New York City, he takes them to a Broadway show. So I found an artsy piece called Broadway. So there were 2 versions. There was a large and there was a regular. I looked at the regular, and you know, because these are billboards and signs, and I wanted to see the detail, and I couldn't see it in the regular. So I got the large, and in the mock-up, it looked really good. I put it in Pattern Keeper, and I thought, oh, I don't know. So I decided to start in the upper right-hand side, which is the upper right-hand corner where I like to start. And I was going to start with the Annie Get Your Gun. You can see that up in the corner. And if that looked good, then I would go down and do the billboard below her, and then I would move to the one to the left. And if those ones looked good, then I was pretty confident it would. The mock-up in Pattern Keeper did not look great. And I thought, okay, sometimes that happens. So here's the mock-up of that corner in Pattern Keeper. And the one that got me was that the letter T is really pixelated in the word get. So it's Annie, get your gun. The other one was her face. And I thought, oh. So I started working this, and here it is. So first of all, you will see that this is a little bit higher than this. Well, that's because I didn't realize Artisy doesn't start, or at least with this one, did not start at the top and do a full 10 by 10 block. They did 9. So that was easy. That was just 310 and 939. And then I started working my way over, and as I would hit colors, I would take them wherever they went. I wanted to get in the lettering, and you can see that T. There's no more reds around that T. That T is done. The rest of it is tans and like these colors right through here. So I came back up here and I said, I'm going to work her face. And can you see her face? So, and even from a distance, her face is pixelated. Now, I hear a lot of people say it's okay if it's pixelated because they're on the wall. You look at them from a distance. And I beg to differ with that, at least in my life. If I go to an art show or if I go to an art museum or if I will stand back and look at the whole entire piece. And then I like to get up close and look at the details, look at the brush marks, look at, whatever detail I want to see. And I found that even with the people who come to my home, they know that I cross stitch, and when they see one of my big pieces on the wall, they'll ooh and ah, and some will ask, do you mind? Can I get up close? Go for it. I've even had the maintenance man come in here, and he seen me stitching outside, asked if he could get up close and look. People do. They're curious. They say, wow, you made this with thread, colored thread. Let me get a look. So, since this doesn't look good from the back, from behind, and when you get up close and you get closer and you see that face, yeah, there's no way. I wouldn't be happy hanging this on my wall, letting somebody get close to it. So I know my son is not going to be happy, nor will his kids appreciate any of that stitching. So that's gone. I don't know how many stitches I put in. It was somewhere around 3,000-4,000. When I looked at that and decided I was done, I just deleted it right out of Pattern Keeper. So now I said I was going to almost had a new start. We received some pretty bad news and yesterday. There are certain people that, well, I've never met them, make an impression on my life. And Rob Reiner, the actor, director, is one of those individuals. I remember being a kid and watching him as Meatball on All in the Family. My grandfather loved that show. So totally politically incorrect today. And I've watched so many of his movies. One of my absolute favorites is The Labyrinth. That was just incredible. But he's done so many more. He's done When Harry Met Sally. He's done Spinal Tap. He's just done so many. That when we got news yesterday that he and his wife had lost their lives, and then as we got more details, we found out that it was a violent loss at the hands of a family member. I really was sad. I've wanted for a long time to stitch something Labyrinth related, both because I love the movie and because we'd lost David Bowie. But I haven't been able to find one. So I went looking yesterday, just feeling sad, right? And I know about the one on Thread Geeks, and there's just something about it that doesn't speak to me. I even went looking at Etsy, thinking, okay, these are probably all knockoffs or they're AI, but let me see if I can find anything. I found one I liked as far as it was just David Bowie and I can't say her name. Anyway, it was the two of them at the dance, and she's all dressed up like a princess. But even in the image that they used for their cover picture, it was so pixelated you couldn't have told who they were. So, no new start besides grackles, but no new start yesterday. So, let's get into plans. I have a couple different types of plans here. So the first one is today until Christmas Eve. And that is going to be, I pulled this out, I don't know why I did, I've already shown them to you. So my main piece to get started will be grackles, to get more started on this. I haven't even reached 1% yet, and that kind of, I don't want to take this into the new year with with less than 1%. So that's going to kind of be my focus piece. And then I'm going to work on my two ladies. And those are going to, well, I'm going to work on the same four. So my two ladies mostly, and then my Christmas pieces. I'm not going to spin the wheel at this point because now we really get into busyness, right? Right before Christmas. So with strength, what I want to do is I want to finish more of her face and get that in there. I'm really close to being, excuse me, under 100,000 stitches on this. And so that's my goal, is to get under 100,000. Then, same with this one. I'm close to finishing her face. It's really hard to tell. Of course, there's her ear down here. But I think what I'm going to do is finish filling in all of this, and then I'm going to work around here, because this very light pewter, it's harder to see the colors. And so I think with this, if I start filling in this background and stuff back here, it will make her pop more. So that's what I want to do with her. And then, should I pull these back out? I'm not going to. From Christmas Day until the 27th, so those 3 days, I'm going to just work on my 2 Christmas pieces and see if I can get them finished, at least one of them. So that'll be the Woodland Santa and the Village Christmas. So for those 3 days, that's kind of what I want to focus on. So we'll be done with Christmas and I can just kind of chill, right? Then when we hit the 28th is actually my birthday. So from the 28th through New Year's, I will have a new start, which will be my focus, but I can still bring in other things, right? These are the ones I know I want to work on, not necessarily what I will end up. So there may still be other things come in. And I am going to start The Arrival of Spring. This is by Natasha Chora, also charted by UnconventionalXStitch. And Steph of Wild Fox Stitchery is starting this on January 1st. So if you want to see someone else, I'll be starting mine from the top right corner. I'm not sure where she's starting hers, but if you want to watch 2 different examples, you can watch Steph. So that kind of finishes that. I don't know what I'm doing for my birthday. A lot of times I have the kids over for my birthday, but I think I'm going to do a video for my birthday introducing my new start. 27th, 28th, somewhere in there, look for a video. And since birthday is a time that we mostly receive, I'd like to give. So check that one out. I have something to give you. And then I will do, I think on the 28th, 27th, I will go through what I did finish up, and that'll kind of be my recap for the end of the month, because all I'll really have, for the most part, will be The Arrival of Spring after that. And then January 1st, I will do my WIC parade and go over all the finishes that I had, and then we'll get into further plans from there. And I'll be back on either the 27th or the 28th. And then I'll be back again on the 1st with the WIC parade. So that, I think, takes up everything. I'm looking to see if I missed anything. I didn't miss anything. So I think with that, I'm going to let you get back. I know everybody has, we've got Flossmas and there's tons and tons of videos coming out. So I will move on and let you go to the next video. Bye.